Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for July 29th. Let's take a look at the U.S.-Japanese yen pair. This particular pair moved higher today. It did break previous resistance and test previous resistance, but did pull back prior to the close. Now, it does look like it's moving a little bit higher right now. Definitely look for this pair to potentially move as high as 95.97, possibly as low as 93.31. Look for some resistance around 95.35 and look for some support around 94.50 in this particular pair. Now switching to the Euro USD pair, this pair moved lower today, closed below some previous support, which is interesting. We could this pair overall is moving sideways if you look at the a little bit larger time frame than we are now, but the bias is definitely to the downside now. Look for this pair to possibly go as high as 142.88, possibly as low as 139.19. Look for some resistance around 140.54 and look for some support around 139.76 in this pair. Now, switching to the pound US dollar pair, this pair closed lower today, still moving sideways. Biased is still sideways. Look for this pair to possibly go as high as 165.81, possibly as low as 162.33. Look for some resistance around 164.28 and look for some support around 163.07. Now, looking at the US Swiss, this pair moved much higher today, basically tagged some previous resistance areas on its way up. This pair is moving sideways overall, but has a bias to the upside currently. Look for this pair to possibly go as high as 198.1 and possibly as low as 106.56. Look for some resistance around 109.07 and look for some support around 108.50 in this particular pair. Now, we have really no news announcements to speak of for tomorrow. We do have some on Friday, but none on Thursday that are of any significance. For those of you that saw the video yesterday, we talked about the US-Canadian dollar pair, how we had a strong downward move. We had this doji bar that was created, and we talked about putting a stop loss right here below the doji bar, and that we should see this market retrace up to previous support, which would now be resistance. Had you gotten in on this trade at the open, currently you would be up a little bit. Let's see currently where you would be up about 92 pips or so, which is about what the risk was. So you could bring your stop loss to break even at this point and look for it to continue higher back up to this point over the next session, next several sessions. As far as what I'm looking at during this next session, just wanted to show you some stuff on the US-Japanese yen pair. If we kind of scale out a little bit, kind of look at a longer term, we've got our trend line. Just wanted to show you if we get a breakout of our previous highs over the past couple of days, where that could go. If you notice, we have resistance here matching support, previous support at this level, and previous resistance here, previous support here within this range. Now, this is the long-term trend line. If you come to this point, you're right around the 96.50 mark, which if you draw your trend, if you draw a horizontal line through there, you're basically tagging this resistance area that we hit once here and once here. So, and if you go here, we hit it as well. So you can really see on this chart how previous resistance turns into support and how support can turn into resistance. If we get a break to the upside, I could definitely see it going up to this point and doing that fairly quick. Difference between these two is about 125 pips. worth of movement. So you may want to keep an eye on this particular setup, if you would, during this next session, and kind of watch it and follow it and see what it does. It's not necessarily guaranteed that it's going to break out, but it's definitely something worth noting and keeping an eye on. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.